Most people quote Nietzsche for Instagram captions and arguments they barely understand. You've seen it. God is dead with a selfie, as if the man destroyed metaphysics so you could look edgy in a filter. But Nietzsche wasn't out for shock, he was out for surgery, and the patient was you, your soul, your instincts, your cowardice dressed as kindness, your habits that look like beliefs but are just fear made routine. To think like Nietzsche, you don't start with books. You start by admitting that you've been domesticated by school, by society, by your parents who said, "Be nice," before they ever said, "Be brave," by your own reflection that stares back like it's waiting for permission. Nietzsche looked at all of that, the morality, the herdfink, the comfort addiction, and lit a cigarette on it. Metaphorically, of course. The man had migraines, not Marlboros. So, where do we begin? First principle. There is no universal morality. There are only perspectives, and most of them are weak. Most of what we call goodness is just social self-preservation. You don't lie because lying is wrong, or because you're scared of being caught, judged, exiled. Nietzsche's point, you're not good, you're obedient. There's a difference. Obedience is easy. Morality, real morality, starts with power, not compliance. It begins where comfort ends. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people want to be told what to do. That way, when things go wrong, they get to blame the instructions. The system. The map. Nietzsche hated maps. He wanted you to build a compass. To think like Nietzsche is to start asking, why do I believe this? Who benefits from my self-sacrifice? What if being a good person is just the slowest form of suicide? And when you realize you've been walking in circles, following rules written by people who never even met you, you stop asking what's right, you start asking what's true. And truth for Nietzsche is often cruel, but it's yours. He called for the Übermensch, the overman, not a superhero, a human being who writes their own values, who becomes the sculptor of their own instincts, who burns through guilt, not to feel nothing, but to feel something real. The Übermensch doesn't care what the crowd chants. He's too busy listening to the tremor in his own ribcage. His morality isn't given. It's forged, in failure, in solitude, in silence. Let's be clear, Nietzsche wasn't selling happiness. He thought happiness was for cows. What he offered was meaning, and not the soft kind. Not meaning in a hallmark sense, but the kind you bleed for, the kind you choose when no one else claps, the kind that costs everything and makes you terrifying to mediocre people. You want to think like Nietzsche? Then you have to be willing to stand alone, not tweet about it, not pretend. Alone. On the edge of your beliefs, where your childhood gods don't answer, and your adult ones are just algorithms pretending to be divine. You build from there. You make values not because you're told to, but because the abyss stares back and you have nothing else left. And in that silence, you speak. Now, let's not romanticize Nietzsche either. The man lost his mind. He died in a fog of madness and loneliness, kissed a horse in the middle of the street, and probably cried harder than most poets ever have. But maybe that's the point. He went all the way, not halfway, not until it hurt, all the way, to the bottom, to where the soul either shatters or evolves. You don't get Nietzsche without the darkness. You don't get clarity without chaos. You don't get a real why without first stripping every false how. So here's your mirror. You want to think like Nietzsche? You want that level of autonomy? Then tear down every belief you didn't consciously build. Doubt everything your comfort defends. Abandon every borrowed conviction like a coat you outgrew 10 winters ago. Then suffer honestly. Feel the collapse of your inner scaffolding. Go numb, go raw, go insane for a second. And if you survive that, if you find even one thought that wasn't inherited, infected, or injected, then you're thinking like Nietzsche. Just don't expect applause. The crowd doesn't clap for volcanoes. It prays they stay asleep.